Alright guys, today on the channel we're taking a look at the iconic, amazing solo to Panama by Mr. Eddie Van Halen. Up next. Alright guys, welcome back. We are looking at Panama today for Mr. Eddie Van Halen. It's a incredible solo with all the swagger and iconic trademarks of Eddie, with the tapping, legato, the bending, the phrasing. It's all here, and we're going to take a look at it in just a second. Before we do, make sure and check down below. I have the tab and Guitar Pro and a backing track all ready to go for you over at my Patreon, so you can learn all the notes exactly and then try your own hand at playing this masterpiece. Also, down in the description box, I've got a free gift for you. 80s metal guitar riffs. It's called 5 Must Know 80s Metal Guitar Riffs. Great stuff. Ozzy, Dio. If you're into 80s metal, you're going to dig this. Make sure and check that out. It's my free gift to you. So, we are tuned a half step down here, and E-flat standard tuning, just like Van Halen is known to do. Okay, so let's get started now. The solo begins with a little transition into a different key. So we're going from the key of E to the key of B minor, and then when it comes out of the solo, it goes back to E minor. So essentially, we're in B minor, and there's a lot of that pentatonic stuff. In fact, one of the great things about this solo is actually how much mileage Eddie gets out of just playing out of the main B minor pentatonic box. So at the 7th fret, he adds the blues note, and he extends it with tapping. But man, there's so much music right there. So that's a lesson to us all. We don't always need to be flying around like a maniac up and down the neck. There's a lot of damage that can be done right here in the main box. Not only that, but he starts it out with some Chuck Berry licks. So that's old school soul there coming through. Now granted, this solo was written in 1984, so we're going back a ways, a little closer to the Chuck Berry days, but I feel like some of that old school rock and roll soul has been lost these days. I don't know, do you guys agree with me about that? It's like all these kind of bluesy licks have been replaced by the flashiest thing you can do. And I love all the flashy stuff too, but there's just something grounding about this Chuck Berry lick. And then Eddie, puts his special sauce on it, but that's always going to sound good to me, that particular kind of a thing. So with all that said, let's check it out. So first thing we do is we're going to bend up 9 on the G. A whole step, and then we're going to play 7 and 7 on the high E and B. Here's the Chuck Berryisms here. It's kind of like a double stop. It is a double stop. It's not like a double stop. It is a double stop. So we're going, and we're going to do that again. And the third time we're going to go and pick the 7 on the B and the 7 high E separately. So then we're going to bend 9 up a whole step, and then release it, pull it off to 7, and then dip the bar there. So bend 9 up a whole step on G, release, pull off to 7, and then as you play 9 on the G again, dip the bar and rebend it. It's a little tricky to coordinate all that. try to do it slower. It kind of loses its feel a little bit, but. Okay, so as you dip, then you're bending back up. Okay, hope that makes sense. Then we're playing this lick. This is a great little pentatonic, a little unorthodox, but really cool. So we're going to play 9G, and then that starts the lick, and then we're going to go. So 7, 10, 7 on the B. That's a hammer pull, and then 9G. And then we'll go, and that's 7, 10, 7 on the B. And then 7 high E, and then 10, 7 pull off. So, and then back to 9 on the G. And then do that again. And then to end it, we're going to go 7B, 10, 9, 7 on the G. There's that blues note. Back to 9. So those are pull-offs there. 7B, 10, pull off to 9, pull off to 7. Hammer on back to 9, and then 7B. So you're going to have to flatten out your finger. And then roll it up onto 7 on the G. So 7B, 7G. And then pull down on the 7th fret G note. There's actually, it's a D note, 7th fret G string, like that. Okay, it all happens very quickly. So really listen to how this lick flows in connection with everything around it. Just the lick by itself. All right, I would maybe separate this out and then add the last part. And take and get the whole lick sort of in one bite. All right, so those two parts are worth kind of looking at, connecting those. Now immediately after this, you have to get your tapping hand ready because we're coming in hot with the tap bent notes, which is a very recognizable part of Eddie's style, right? You're bending 9G. Make sure you bend to pitch, because if you don't, all these other notes are going to be sound out of tune. So we want a whole step here. And then we want, there's a 2 fret bend, right? And then tap 14 while holding the bend. And then pull it off. So keep the bend, 12, back to 14, up to 16, down to 14, and then quickly. And then release it and pull off to 7. Release the bend. Notice that last pull off there from 12, the tap is a little quicker. Right? So there you go. something to work on there. If you haven't done that before, it might be a little tricky for you, but it's a staple of Eddie's playing. So this is important to get down for this solo and for just his style in general. If you're trying to cop some of those licks, might as well get that tapping finger ready to go. Now this solo doesn't have any more tapping in it, so that would be it for this one. Now when you come out of this, again, amazing phrasing by this guy. It just comes out of his pores, it seems like. When you come out of the bend, you're going to pull off to 7, hammer back onto 9, give it a little dip, and bend it back up again. Release it, and 7-9-7 hammer pull. So let's do it from the tapping. It's kind of all in one motion, mostly fret hand. And be careful not to do what I just did and hit other strings, which brings in the thought about how to mute all this. Make sure that the open strings are being muted somehow, okay? Notice I kind of bring in my pick hand, thumb and fingers, just to kind of mute the open strings around the bent note there. I'm kind of left out naked here just for a second. Okay, that's it without the dip. But it sounds so cool in context. It's just a simple little dip, but it's like a vocal phrase. Now, to end this, get a little pinch harmonic here. Get a little squealy going. 7 on the G, bend that up a whole step, and bring it back and pick it again. And then go 9D, 9A. And I'm using my index for the bend, which is a challenge in itself if you're not used to that. Ring finger on D, middle finger on A. Okay, and then we're going to do the bend again. This time, we're not going to, when we bend the 7 the second time, instead of coming back and picking it again, we're going to go right to the D string and go 9D, 9A, then down the blues scale, B blues scale here, 9, 8, 7. When you get to 5, bend it up a whole step. With a little pinch, little squealy. Again, tough bend there with your first finger if you don't have your calluses built up. But what you could do is bend with your middle finger. In fact, that's probably what Ed did, and probably what I would do now that I'm thinking about it. Because your middle finger is already on 9 there, and just move it down 8, 7. That makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? See, I learned something new too when I'm actually doing these. I'm teaching myself. A lot easier to have that first finger as support to the middle finger there. Okay? Whoops. And that's basically the end of the solo. as it transitions back into E minor. Actually, one more little lick. We gotta have that, right? So that's, now we're in the key of E minor right there. So that is 9, 10, 9 on the A. Hammer pull, 10, low E. Then, this is a whole step bend on 7 on the A. Again, use the middle finger there as first finger support. Bend it up, release it, and then slide it down to 2 on the A. It's kind of a really sultry kind of a slide. The volume comes down a little bit. You can lower your volume there. Alright, so that's as much as I'm going to cover on this. It's a great solo. It's accessible, I think, no matter where you're at as a player. For sure, if you're intermediate, you know, if you feel like you're not advanced, but you're intermediate and you're really wanting to get to the next level, this is a great example of a solo to start working on, because it's got some technical bits in it, some technical challenge, but great foundational lead guitar stuff built around it in terms of Chuck Berry licks, great bending ideas, fast bluesy pentatonic stuff, right? And so you can't go wrong by learning this. So hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Make sure and grab the Tab Guitar Pro backing track over at Patreon so you can give this a shot and grab that free 80s riffs guide down below as well. I'll see you next time. Rock on.